Hello and welcome once again, everybody, to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl tournament here. I am Sir Waltham, back once again with the dude abides _B. The dude, go ahead and say hello to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to hang out with you here again, Sir Waltham, in this exciting tournament as it winds down.
Yeah, it's always going to be a good time, and as you said, winding down, we are going to be in the losers bracket finals here. This game is going to be a best of 5, and I can't think of two teams more fitting of this last finals fight than Rebind Shift and Big Oof Energy. Both these teams obviously having crawled out from their one loss throughout the winners bracket, wherever that may have been, and all the way here to claim their shot at redemption and being ready and able to take that spot back. We are going to be starting on King's Row. Dude, what do you think we're going to be expecting to see out of King's Row today?
Well, I know what I'm going to be seeing out of Rebind Shift, and it makes me excited and all warm and fuzzy inside. I'm sure we'll see Sombra and Hammond diving as well as they do. I've seen it quite a few times, and it's really fun to watch them do it. With Big Oof coming out, I would think maybe some traditional Ryan and Zarya play. We might see a little bit of Goats because we all know how strong Goats is. But yeah, just excited to see, as you said, ultimately someone climbing their way out of the losers bracket, and what better place to start than King's Row, the overall favorite map of all the teams in this tournament.
Yeah, I think that everybody I've cast with has pretty much hands down said that King's Row was one of their favorites, or it's never one I hear some reluctance or anxiety upon. Just as a refresher course, the winner of this game will be going up against Maximize Gaming, who haven't dropped an entire map, grinding through that winners bracket. But since we're focusing on the here and now, we're going to be taking it to King's Row. For those of you at home, Big Oof Energy is going to be on the right side in red. Just remember that big red energy. And we're going to see Rebind Shift in the blue on the left side there. And overall, I think we're going to take a little bit before we start to see some comps, but still very excited to see what is going to be coming out from both teams.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm sure there's been some scouting done at this point in the tournament with how many games have been, available on VODs throughout this tournament. So I'm curious to see what Big Oof does in response to expecting to see the Hammond Sombra dive come out from Rebind Shift. Sorry. Again, I'm just excited to see the counterplay and to see the mental mind games that come out before we even get going.
Absolutely. And if I'm not mistaken, The last time we saw Rebind shift, they were running that Hammond comp, but that was with Pyro, who does not appear to be with us in-game this time around. Kamina's still in-game, however. They were so superb at setting up those Sombra Diva mega bombs, and I'm hoping we can see some of that come around once again.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I don't see Pyro in there, and that was who was running the hamster to near perfection. On defense with Big Oof, we're going to see some late switches coming in. Oh, so they're on offense, actually. I misspoke. So we're going to see, it looks like Mei Hanzo, and then Ryan Zarya, and then Anna and Lucio picking up the support roles.
Yeah, looking to be a little bit weird seeing an offensive team play Mei. Usually you like to see the defensive Mei to kind of cut off that choke point. However, looks like Paralysis is going to be setting up that wall, causing a little bit of a barrier, just providing their team a little bit relief from the fire. I am sure Italis' shield will appreciate that. Italis getting brought dangerously low, almost making it out alive after the anti-nade wears off. However, not going to be working. NKN taking out AK Organic. Paralysis is going to be the last one in there. They have to be very careful not to get staggered. However, xFeral going to be getting the kill. And it looks like the rest of the team tried to help them out, but it just ended up costing a lot of them their lives. NKN going to be getting killed by Artemis, but overall, that's going to be a pull back from Big Oof Energy.
Yeah, Rebound Shift with a really clear early win. Hacks Emp lands a huge anti-nade on Italis, and the shield from Mei not helping him as much as I'm sure they hoped it would.
Absolutely. It's worth noting that NKN has not gotten back on point. Paralysis blocking off those sightlines. Chump getting pinned massive as well. Artemis going to be striking dragons right down the center of the point. And now we're going to see Baked Potato on the opposite side of the point. That's not where you want to be, away from your team. However, Hacks on top of that balcony, able to give a little bit of healing, but it will not be enough to keep either of them up. And with this, it looks like Big Oof Energy is going to be successful in taking the first point.
Yep, and that was a really, really clean fight right there. Artemis goes in really hard with a huge dragon, getting 3 kills along with the 4th on the Zarya with his Stormbow. And it looks like we're going to have a little chance for Rebind to be able to reestablish and fight in this choke instead of them getting a lot of free push on the Streets phase.
Yeah, the good news for Big Oof Energy does take a little bit of time for that cart to get going. So Paralysis getting pinned, not really going to be that crucial in terms of stagger. Going to be able to regroup with the team. The hammer down coming from Italis, getting blocked off perhaps a little bit by Paralysis. That might have been a crucial misfire. However, it did seem like Baked Potato was savvy on the point and had that shield up and ready to neutralize any sort of shattering effects that might have come through. And once again, it's looking like Big Oof Energy going to be repelled for the time being.
Yeah, between Baked Potato's shield and Paralysis wall, Shatter does not come through by Italis at all. So that's a little bit of a loss right there, but we might be able to see hopefully a Mei ult come in. But on the other side of it, Rebound Shift has every single ult in the book. Probably set to see a Dragon Ball as we see as I say it.
And we're going to see both the ults coming out. We're going to be seeing NKN as well as xFeral popping out both those ults in the classic Dragon Ball combo. However, AK Organic going to be able to pop that sound barrier just in time. About half the team going to be scaling that Mei wall from Paralysis. And now we're going to see Rebind Shift getting just so aggressive onto the spawn of Big Oof Energy. It's probably going to want to be a full regroup from Big Oof.
Yep, and NKN actually able to get half of his ultimate back after using it in just that fight. Ultimate economy is pretty even across the board. Big Oof will have their own Dragon Ball here to use at their disposal, along with a Nano and a Mei Snow Globe, if you will.
Yeah, very worth noting that there will be nothing to eat Paralysis's Mei Blizzard, since there is no Diva or Genji to deflect on the defending team. So they will have quite a bit of opening. The shatter coming out from Baked Potato, not going to be landing onto anything while they're stuck in the grab. We're going to be seeing the trance come out from Kamina in an attempt to save the team from that dragon. However, it will not be enough to save Baked Potato. Italis going to be getting Kamina for the ult. And the trades are going back and forth, but they are still going in favor of Big Oof Energy, who are now going to start to pick up some progress. But with Italis dropping, this progress might not be for long.
Yeah, so Runaway and God's going a really sneaky flank just to pull off the grab, get a lot of value out of the dragon. The counter shatter from Baked Potato doesn't do as much as he initially probably hoped for. Counter shatter is a really good way to deter a big grab, but they're going to have a chance to reset here and have one more fight before Streets phase is over.
Yeah, and really, if they can defend it, Rebind going to be having a huge advantage. However, Italis playing the mind games with Baked Potato, but not going to be finding any fruit to bear from it, as the Earth Shatter just goes straight into the shield. And we're going to be seeing now Rebind getting very aggressive. As I say that, we're going to be seeing the Dragon Strike come out from Artemis, splitting the team in half. Baked Potato lucky not to drop during that time, however, getting very dangerously low, getting probably about 10 hit points from dropping. The same cannot be said for Kamina, who will be dropping to the Artemis. Hanzo on that Archer character. Love to see that Hanzo action unless you're on the receiving end. And overall, it looks like Big Oof Energy going to be able to take it to point.
Yeah, the late kills come in for Big Oof on a really late stagger. Not much that Italis can do by himself with half of his health already whittled down and no support behind him. I'm sorry, Baked Potato. But so they'll take Streets phase here. And again, we're going to have a Dragon Ball at Rebind Shift disposal. And it looks like we have the same ready for Big Oof, so we'll see. And here they go.
Yeah, and a crucial loss early on Paralysis, getting booped into the pit from it. Looks like it was Chump. God's going to be getting the nano, perhaps to build up another grab as quickly as possible. However, Baked Potato just going to be kiting with that shield a little bit, not allowing Kamina to take too much damage. AK Organic will capitalize once the shield is down, though, and it's going to be continued progress for Big Oof.
Yeah, and it looks like Rebind is switching to a little bit of a Goats variant. Hanzo Goats variant with a triple support. No Brig, so not really your Goats, but they are running triple support, maybe to have a little more sustain as another Dragon Ball comes through. Seems to be the calling card of King's Row so far tonight.
Yeah, that was some very good organization. Usually we see what would have been the Zarya grab first and then the Hanzo come out, but they seemed very well timed. As the Hanzo ult was coming out, we saw the grab land and capture, I believe it was 3 or 4 people in it. And although they do have quite a bit of time bank left, going to be a little bit tricky for Big Oof Energy.
Yep, no switches coming through for Big Oof. They do have a Blizzard ready for May, along with a Shatter from Italis. So we'll see if he can outplay Baked Potato here and land a Fatty Shatty.
Absolutely, both Brian's kind of swinging around this corner. We're going to be seeing the Dragon Strike come out from Artemis that is going to clear the lane. And Italis almost looking like he was going to be getting off that ult onto Baked Potato. However, Baked Potato now with the Rhine advantage, or the ult advantage, excuse me. Baked Potato going to be getting nanoed and swinging for the fence. Slept, but woken up, not quite able to nap off that entire Nano Blade. Gods looking like they're going to be getting a little bit of laser damage into their hide. And that will once again be a very aggressive spawn push by Rebind Shift.
Yeah, Baked Potato seemed to be handily winning the mind game. Every time a Shatter comes in for an Italis, looks like Baked Potato is right on top of it, ready to block it. He hasn't got much value of those Shatters, and to win 3 games tonight, I feel like he's going to have to land more of those than he has right now.
Yeah, it is definitely something we're going to look for them to tune up. NKN going to be bringing out the Dragon Strike, and as we can see, Paralysis dropping that grab, and the DPS are going to be getting very aggressive for Big Oof Energy, while the tanks will essentially swap them spots. However, it may prove to be their undoing, as Rebind Shift is going to capitalize.
Yep, we're only going to have 1 fight left coming out. Paralysis switching off the Mei onto the Junkrat, deal a little bit more damage. Maybe that's their win condition, break the shield to land a free Shatter. But,
yeah, perhaps
they have coming in to stall them from even ever getting to the point. It doesn't look like they're actually going to make it back.
It does not. In fact, a little bit perhaps of a misclick from Gods. Gods firing that grab almost right out of spawn, not catching anybody, even perhaps before they could even see the team. And with that, it looks like Rebind is going to successfully repel this first round 3-point capture.
Yeah, you know, Paralysis May was working really well on the first 2 points. It didn't seem to be going their way. I don't think Rebind Shift was fooled after seeing what they were trying to accomplish with May. Maybe a switch off a little earlier might have got them a little further. But regardless, still a pretty solid push. You know, the only way they lose here is if they end up giving up the whole map.
Yeah, and that's essentially what it will have to be. I think that overall, as you said, Paralysis kind of doing not as much work perhaps on that May, but I think that's largely based on no fault to Paralysis. But with the first point and second point, you have a lot more maneuverability, a lot more areas that can be beneficial if you cut them off with those May walls. Whereas the first one, if you cut off any path, you're cutting off your own lifeline, basically, especially on the offensive team.
Absolutely. Once you get to the third point, it's basically just the whole time. May, I feel like, does a lot better when you have a couple multiple angles to engage from. So you can split off a team, you know, whether it be split one person off, namely the Rhine, and then focus him with the rest of your team. But without those different engagement angles, you're not able to do that. We will see Paralysis back on Mei here for defense, though. Artemis is going to be on Ashe. And then we're going to have Ana Zen in the back line with Gods on Zarya and Natalis on Rhine. And we'll see maybe a double shield coming out on offense from Rebind Shift.
Yeah, worth noting, Baked Potato, not the typical tank player for Rebind Shift, so they may be trying to manipulate that big oof energy that is to perhaps get some walling.
And Rebind Shift actually goes full dive here with Genji Tracer. We haven't seen this for, wow, a couple of seasons in any sort of competitive play, so I'm excited to see the dive here.
Absolutely, and Kamina going to be getting the initial kill onto Italis, the Genji perhaps just too overpowering. Artemis, however, going to be trading. Artemis getting dove by the Winston, however, that coach gun will save them for the time being. Going to be dropping down Soren away, prompt and ready with that healing. And right now there is a large ebb and flow coming through from Big Oof Energy, managing to keep one person on point. The Mei doing their best to make the entire enemy team just a giant slushy. X-Feral going to get frozen, and along with Kamina going to be the last ones eliminated in this push.
Yeah, really savvy teamwork there by Big Oof. They're able to back off just a little bit after losing Italis early. They re-engage right at the right time. They don't lose a tick. And Paralysis, really strong Mei play there. She counters dive really hard. So we'll see if Baked Potato and X-Roll are going to be able to capitalize and avoid Mei on their next dive.
Absolutely, and we're going to be seeing Paralysis with that ult up as we see the wall come out at choke. Not going to be a problem for Kamina on that Genji, as they can just easily ramble right over it. Kamina going to be diving Artemis right as that Bob comes out. However, they will trade Hacks EMP's life for it. Bob getting thrown into the hotel, not able to provide a whole lot of leverage from the angle that the attackers are now directing their force from. And we're going to be seeing AK Organic forced out with that trance just for Italis and Gods. Paralysis is still pretty far forward, not quite able to benefit from that. X-Feral just getting caught in a blizzard trap right now, trying in every which way to get in and out. Will not find any value for it. Artemis going to be getting the kill onto NKN only after their Zenyatta has fallen. But this fight is just going back and forth right now, and it looks like the Rebind Shift is not going to take advantage and try to regroup. And off that, we're going to be seeing a sound barrier come on for initiation, layered on top of Hacks EMP's Transcendence. And with that, it will finally be the support ults that they need to cap this point and make some progress onto point A.
I'm glad I didn't say that I think they need to maybe switch up comps, because it didn't look like it was going to work. But Rebind Shift completely fools me. They are actually able to pull it off with, like you said, the coordination of both support ults. Big difference between Dive and Goats is Goats relies on all the abilities and the ultimates coming out. Dive is much more centered around tank play, coordinating the dives with the Genji and the Tracer. And it's very difficult to do going into a Mei. Artemis actually is now switching off Ashe onto McCree. Another kind of an anti-dive with that flashbang able to really stymie the Tracer on NKN, who's causing a lot of damage in the backline.
Absolutely, and we're going to be seeing Big Oof Energy trying for a little bit forward of a hold. However, X-Feral going to be saying, nope, that position is going to now be ours, getting 3 off the self-destruct. Just some massive kills. NKN there to clean up onto Italis. Baked Potato getting the monkey punch onto Soren. And with that, it will be continued progress for Rebind Shift.
Yeah, X-Feral goes full Poco, completely catches Big Oof off guard, and they're going to get a lot of free push here on Streets phase after a very convincing team fight. They're going to be able to reestablish. They're going to have plenty of time to re-engage here for Big Oof, but really solid Diva Bomb there.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing the Dragon Blade come out from Kamina, getting 2 immediately off the back of it. NKN also helping to clean up Italis, and despite getting anti-nated and the hammer down going out, Kamina and company still going to be picking up kills that they need to get some stall on, or to get progress onto the cart, rather. Paralysis trying to be a little bit sneaky, maybe trying to save that Blizzard for the drop onto cart.
Yeah, I would imagine we're going to see Rebind Shift stay pushed far ahead as they are. They're haven't really lost any fights since the first team fight they lost. They have been absolutely steamrolling their way through since that first lost team fight.
Indeed, and now it does not look like Paralysis will be saving that Blizzard. However, the bell is starting to toll as we can see the time bank quite hefty for Team Rebind Shift. And Italis getting batted around like a pinata right now, going to be taking out X-Feral, or the mech of X-Feral rather, but not going to quite be enough. And right now, if Team Big Oof Energy is going to want to maintain this, they really need to regroup.
Yeah, they're going to need to regroup, maybe switch something up. They do have quite a few ults coming in here. I would expect to see Grab and a Blizzard. Oh, they don't even get there in time. That's really unfortunate.
The grab
Um,
does come out with the high noon, but the Winston bubble, as well as the delayed wait from the defending team, not going to be able to get them that immediate stall that they need.
yeah, really good job by Rebind Shift to push up into the spawns and body block Big Oof from getting back out of the door. They were able to not necessarily stagger paralysis because they didn't confirm a kill there at the end, but they forced him to use his ice block and retreat to regain health before being able to re-engage. And that's the difference between winning the map and getting to the fight for another hold. So really, really good plays by Rebind Shift there, and they take King's Row handily.
Absolutely. I was a little bit wary seeing the dive tanks come out, seeing the dive compositions come out, but I think that Rebind Shift showing that as long as you're proficient, you're confident, and you know how to utilize your characters properly, the meta is not so make or break. Because, Winston D.Va probably not the most favored comp for King's Row.
Yeah, as a good friend of mine says all the time, the meta is not gospel. I'm always excited to see Dive come out. Dive is my absolute favorite comp. My favorite memories of Overwatch is when Dive comp was just the only thing that was played all the time. I think it's a very dynamic way of watching and playing Overwatch. So really exciting to see that come out. And ran to near perfection right there. Too bad we can't see Big Oof counter it a little bit. They seemed pretty set in their ways, both on offense and defense, sticking with Mei the whole time. Kind of surprising. You don't see Mei too often, and when it's not working, you really need to think about switching it up. But enough about King's Row. It looks like we're going on to Lijiang Tower for the next map.
Absolutely. That, of course, being the map of choice for Big Oof Energy. Rebind Shift getting to pick sides, and it looks like they're going to be swapping sides, perhaps just for the giggles of it, because they love tormenting us and us having to change our mindsets for casting, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me more than constantly getting not healed is the constant swapping of colors.
Indeed, and I honestly think that now would probably be the more appropriate time for Paralysis to run on that Mei, especially if they're able to take point and hold it in Control Center.
Yeah, Mei is really strong on Lijiang. Control Center, especially playing around that kind of center statue, if you will, on the control point. Mei can just completely block off heroes from healing or even engaging with a well-placed wall, along with some of the really tight chokes in some of the other maps on Lijiang.
Absolutely. However, both teams kind of breaking away from strictly defined metas, so we still could be seeing anything come out here.
Yep, go ahead.
I said now we're just going to be entering Lijiang Tower and have a little bit of downtime to really kind of wait in anticipation for what the teams are going to be pulling out.
Yeah, since the patch that came out about a week ago now, we have seen a lot of different, really cool, different comps coming out on the regular. Nothing too Reaper-centric because he's still not as great as everyone thought he was going to be. But I definitely have seen some different gameplay based on the way shields or armor has been working. A lot less Brig. I guess the nerf to Rally has really changed the way people are playing her now, since they don't have that long-lasting shield buff in mind.
Absolutely. And as well, D.Va getting some significant changes, having that defense matrix changed to where once it's off, it can't be turned on for another 2 seconds. If you're timing your abilities properly, you can really take advantage of that and kind of manipulate it with twice the opening space that you used to be able to.
Yeah, a lot less grabs and dragons being eaten, and even to a further extent, a lot less D.Va being played. We haven't seen D.Va yet tonight. It doesn't look like we're going to see her here on Control Point. We're going to see Big Oof coming out with a Junkrat and Ashe. Actually, Junkrat and McCree. We get a late switch right there. And then on the other side, NKN's actually going to be going McCree as well, with a kind of a McCree off-brand of goats here for Rebind Shift.
Absolutely, and both teams going to be coming basically to a head here. Baked Potato going to be getting an early Fire Strike, building up quite a bit of ult charge. However, X-Pharaoh going to be the first one to drop, and quickly followed by Baked Potato. And overall, this fight has just quickly gone in favor for Big Oof Energy, and it looks like, in fact, they're going to be the first to take point.
Yeah, Italis taking some of his opponent's advice and Rebind Shift goes absolutely deep with a really clutch bubble from Gods to save his life. And though he gives up his Artemis on McCree, is able to support him and get 2 huge picks for them to take the first point.
Absolutely. As we see Rebind ready to take another crack at it, we're going to see Italis' shield already getting dangerously low. As well, X-Feral going to be taking a little bit of damage. The Hammer Strike, or that Earth Shatter coming down. Baked Potato going to be landing the pin off of Artemis. NKN perhaps trying to get some nice sneak angles with McCree with that High Noon. Not going to be finding any value for it, however. Going to be getting Soren away in the end, and as God falls, it will for the first time revert to Rebind Shift.
Yeah, I think NKN only pops his ult maybe as a little bit of a scare tactic, but he reloaded basically quickly just to start pumping some more damage into them as they were panicking, looking around. Baked Potato not able to land a big shatter, but no the matter. They're able to come through with the victory anyway. Italis is coming in with a shatter of his own, and they'll have a tire for paralysis as well.
Absolutely, and both tank ults coming out from Big Oof Energy. Artem is going to be getting X-Feral off the back of it, and we're going to now be hearing the Junkrat tire scooting away. Going to be getting NKN, in fact, and the trades are going back and forth. The sleep going on to paralysis. Artem is picking up Baked Potato, but when the dust has all settled, despite the kills coming out from Artemis, it looks like Rebind will be buying a little bit more time on point, but with just the healers up, it will probably not be too long-lived. The flashbang coming out of Artemis, not going to stop the dart from Hax EMP, but it will not get any sleeps either way. Baked Potato swinging heavily into Italis, who did not have line of sight for a brief moment there with their healers. That nano coming out as they're stuck into the grab, a little bit peculiar of a nano placement. And this entire time, it has still been Rebind Shift just building ult charge. Artem is going to be cleaning up onto Baked Potato. As well, we're going to see Soren away, trying to get some snipes onto Chump, who is hovering in the air with the Lucio. But it looks like both teams are going to walk away relatively unharmed from this fight.
Yeah, Big Goof able to finally take back the point, but Rebind Shifts is already in a good enough position where they won't be able to be pushed back through that tight choke. We'll see if Baked Potato can be fully loaded on this next shatter.
Absolutely, and despite the healthy Anonade coming from, I believe it was Soren, it looks like the fight will still go in favor of Big Oof Energy. They're going to be pushing a little bit past the danger zone here you don't want to leave too far out of that door. Otherwise, you're just able to be shot at while the enemy sits in spawn.
Yeah, depending on how long this next engagement goes on, Rebind Shift may be looking at their last fight to try and retake here. They might get 2, but looks like we're only going to have 1 more fight here if they can't retake.
Indeed, and already Italis getting a little bit worn down on the shield. NKN taking the high ground, getting a double kill off the High Noon, and with the damage already done through it, will be quickly cleaned up. Paralysis unknowingly walking into a McCree ult, but going to ultimately get killed by Chump on that Lucio. And despite all their attempts, Artem is not going to be able to stall that point.
Yeah, huge High Noon by NKN to really set the tone, and then a big double kill with a Fire Strike from Baked Potato. He finally gets his bacon and sour cream that he's been looking for all night.
Absolutely, and after eating a potato like that, going to be taking a little bit of a nap, courtesy of Soren away, providing him the pillow and blanket. However, with the Fire Strike coming out from Italis, going to be taking a little bit of damage onto Rebind Shift, and the double grabs coming out. Once again, Italis getting that nano boost. As the swings come through, going to be getting killed off of the shatter from Baked Potato. That's another fully loaded potato.
Yeah, Baked Potato able to have his potato and eat it too on this last shatter. Both teams get grabbed. Baked Potato, the only one with a shatter. He comes all the way through, and he keeps single-handedly Big Oof from getting back onto the point. Really awesome Ryan v. Ryan play in that map. We might get to see some May on this map if we are going to see it, but it looks like Paralysis is going on Pharah. Oh, looks like he's switching to Reaper now. Soaring Away is going to be on Moira, so we're going to have, looks like Moira and Lucio coming out for Big Oof, and on Rebind Shift, it looks like they're going with the McCree variant of Goats, with McCree instead of Diva.
Indeed, Paralysis perhaps anticipating having to just go and absolutely barrel stuff the team of Rebind Shift. AK Organic going to be hopping onto this Lucio to ferry around. Excuse me. I'm getting choked up by the solid Lucio play.
Yep, and we're going to have Rebind Shift engaged from the outside. coming in to meet them head on the point. We'll see who shield breaks first. And Artemis on Ashe down quickly, followed by Atalis on Ryan. Looks like Rebind Shifts is going to take this first fight pretty handily as Sir Waltham is able to catch his breath, hopefully.
Overall, a very quick take from Rebind Shift. Well done on their ends.
Yep, they are going to be able to push up in the choke and try to stymie Big Oof from coming in one of these little tight chokes that this map is so famous for.
Indeed, Ital's going to be throwing out a Fire Strike. Will do very little but to keep X-Feral fully charged on that Zarya. The flashbang coming out from NKN, and as the Rhine drops shield, the shield bash also coming out from the Brigitte played by Hax EMP, who will now be falling to a little bit of dynamite damage from Artemis. Although it looks like Rebind Shift will still be able to pull out with a large majority of their team intact.
Yeah, well, Artemis dynamite lands. We're going to see Rebind Shift actually stay on fire way longer than I believe she anticipated. And they're going to be able to win that fight handily again. They're going to have a couple ults in their hand now. They will have a grab that goes right in, and that should end the fight before it even gets going there.
Absolutely, a very key grab coming out from X-Feral, allowing some of the members to drop down and some of the others getting kind of pinned in that upper area. And although a fat anti-nade coming from Soren away, not going to quite be enough to close any kills.
Yeah, Big Oof having trouble getting their feet under him here. They're only going to have a Nano and a Tire coming in, and they're going to go straight into Baked Potato Shatter along with a High Noon and a Transcendence. So it's not looking good for Big Oof Energy on this push unless they're able to pull some pretty tricky moves.
Absolutely, and we're going to hear the Junkrat Tire going for a spin. On top, we're going to also hear NKN popping that High Noon.
Oh,
Bob running out onto the field. Bob running out onto the field, not going to quite be in an optimal position to do a whole lot of damage. Artem is going to be cleaning up Kamina. However, 4 of their teammates will drop in exchange. Also cleaning up Chump. And with a little bit of a sneaky cap by Gods, it will be Big Oof taking a little bit of point progress, perhaps preventing Rebind from getting theirs, but at the end, still going to be Rebind.
Sometimes in the Cowboy world, High Noon means taking a nap. And NKN got put to sleep with a long-range dart gun result, but they're able to hold ground. But we are seeing Big Oof finally come in with a lot of ults at their disposal. See if they can swing the hammer their way with this last fight.
Absolutely, and it looks like Atalis seeing the sleep onto the enemy Rhine, going to be carrying them off of point. However, their entire team will follow, pretty much leaving it uncontested, giving Rebind Shift the win for this King of the Hill map.
Yeah, X-Feral lands a huge grab to force a unwilling C9. To win this map. And NKN with the game-winning High Noon of the first map, just sneaky stuff right there. Great McCree play from the high ground.
Absolutely. You like to see that the hit scans really take advantage of that higher ground and really being able to manipulate and capitalize off of those angles. However, with that map being won once again by Rebind Shift, it will be Big Oof's choice of map again, and therefore Rebind Shift's choice of side, although hopefully they're going to be preferring to stay on the red side. Better red than dead, I believe, was some of the words of Team Rebind Shift.
Yep, and Big Oof with their backs to the hypothetical Maywall here, their tournament life on the line. They're going to really need to choose a map that they can take advantage of their strengths as a team, and hopefully we can see this go past 3 games.
Yeah, I'm always looking forward to more Overwatch. I say it every time, but it's because I genuinely mean it, folks. I love seeing some good quality Overwatch play here. And kind of a fun thing of note here, folks, that I just noticed is that despite I think we've seen them for most of the map, or for most of the tournament, that is, X-Feral for Rebind Shift has actually been a subbing in for what feels like almost every game, and I think it's been working out pretty well so far for Rebind Shift.
Absolutely, and we're going to see Dorado, it looks like, for the 3rd map. So hopefully, again, for Big Oof Energy, I hope they have some things in plan to feel pretty confident on Dorado, because if they're not able to capture this map, it's going to be the end of their tournament life.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking with another caster earlier today about how I really can appreciate the variability that can come out of Dorado. A lot of times we see that very brawly comp working on to the first point before you get under the arch, But after the second point gets captured, you start to see a lot more Winston, and it used to be D.Va, but maybe now it's a little bit more Winston Hammond hybrid, with taking the high grounds during Streets phase, and overall a lot of variability potential here for Dorado.
I personally love on defense first point, Orisa Junkrat taking the high ground. It is very hard to push through that choke with the amount of span damage coming in and a big halt followed up by a landmine from Junkrat. You don't see it too often, but it is very effective when teams, force that synergy in. You could even see when that kind of comp on a Roadhog come out here and there, which we haven't seen too much of in this tournament. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Dorado gives a lot of variability on the different comps that are able to be successful.
I think that typically pulled pork, or at least the Roadhog Orisa combo, is most commonly seen like on a very few niche maps, Well being one of them, Junkertown, as well as there was one more. Rialto for
Rialto, absolutely, on the first
the
one.
very initial hold.
Yeah. There's no environmental, hazards on this map, so that's usually when you do see pulled pork come out. The pulled pork in combination of Junkrat on this very first choke is about the only place it works on this map, so that's usually why you don't see it too much. It's basically a one and done strat. It's almost kind of a stall technique just to hold them from gaining any real traction on the map, but it doesn't have really long sustained success.
Yeah, and we will be seeing the teams stay on the same side with Rebind Shift once again in the red. Big Oof Energy going to be in the blue on the left. And NKN, my friend, don't do this to me, please. Don't want to see the attack bastion right now.
Are we going to see Pirate Ship going into the aforementioned pulled pork? It looks like we are going to see pulled pork here on the first point defense. No Junkrat, but Artemis on McCree will be able to pump out plenty of damage with Ache Organics Discord Orb.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like they're going to be rolling out with the Bastion, so we're definitely going to have to watch out for the lawnmower, as it is going to be called, because it will just shred anything in front of it.
Yep, we are going to see a typical Orisa battle here, shield battle, which Big Oof is going to have a hard time winning that, because they are being run a pirate ship right into that Bastion. Just will absolutely melt a shield. But Gods with a huge hook ends NKN's life before he gets rezzed.
Yeah, absolutely. Very crucial res by Hack's EMP to get onto NKN, who will reset up and continue to just pound the opposing team into the ground. And as the meme says, it's going to be free real estate for Rebind Shift.
Yeah, Pirate Ship, one of those comps where once you really stop it, it can't get established again. But man, once it gets rolling, it is very difficult to stop. They're going to take first point with little to no resistance, and NKN is just going to ride this card as long as they will let him. I'm sure Hax is going to be trying to keep him alive as much as he can, and Baked Potato is going to be the literal skin to his potato.
Yeah, it's going to be very dependent on the Orisa Hog combo being able to get those combination platters going. I guess the motif of tonight is food. However, an early shield break from NKN onto Italis' barrier shield. And we're going to be seeing the tank form come out. The shield goes up just in time. However, NKN going to be maneuvering around it. Hax EMP actually getting some kills onto Paralysis. NKN also going to be getting 2 kills. Unfortunate that one of them is himself. But for the time being, it will still be Rebind Shift in firm control of the cart, with the res ultimately coming back out for NKN.
Yeah, NKN able to go crazy aggro with Hax popping and damage boosting him as the tank. He rocket jumps all the way into the middle of Rebind Shift and just takes out, along with himself, the rest of the team. We're going to see the bongos from Orisa come out. Well, it doesn't look like Rebind's even going to try to engage.
Yeah, it looks like Big Oof will basically just give them the point for the time being. However, Italis almost going to be charging out of harm's way, and KN going to be shredding them for their troubles. And we're going to have Soren away, trying to do a little bit of aerial healing onto Paralysis. There will be no pharmacy for this, so it's just going to be a little bit of free damage.
Yeah, typically for me, I'm picking pulled pork over baked potato, but it looks like the pulled pork's been scraped off the plate, and Rebind Shift is going to come back with a typical Ryan Zarya, with Paralysis on Pharah and Artemis on Hanzo to see if they can get some long-range damage on this pirate ship.
Indeed, taking an early high ground possession from Big Oof Energy. The ult going to be coming out from Soaring Away, aka Organic, going to be popping that Transcendence. Will not be enough to save Italis or even Artemis for that fact. Browse is trying to do some work in the backlines, not quite able to get it as the Zenyatta Discord Orb gets put on them. They will be chased down by X-Feral in some of the first D.Va play we're going to be seeing for this match, by the way. NKN going to be getting 2 kills off of tank configuration. Italis trying to get onto the point just to stall, but it will not quite be enough with Hack's EMP going to be getting the kill onto them.
The only kills that Big Oof Energy was able to get were so spread apart that Mercy was able to res them every single time. The least amount of players on the field for Big Oof at any given time during this whole map was 5 and quickly was resurrected. So huge support plays by the Mercy and the Lucio, keeping everyone alive. And then the clutch res is coming right in as soon as they were able to. Big plays by NKN, including twice we see the damage boost to tank mode. Rocket jumping high in the air, not a whole lot you can do to defend that. It's like a Steph Curry 3-point range shot from way downtown. There's just no stopping those kind of bombs from dropping.
Absolutely, and especially when you're playing that Orisa, once your Bastion is just pushed through the barrier, all you can do is back up and try to find cover because your barrier is not going to be providing it for you.
Yeah, so happy to see the pull port come out on defense. Too bad it was going right against a pirate ship. Pirate ship's always going to win pull port. You just cannot withstand that kind of damage. But it looks like we're going to see Rebind Shift come out with triple. They're going to be running Ana Goats, and they're going to be going into, it looks like, Torb with Hanzo, and then Ryan and Zarya, and then Mercy Zen. So not a lot of healing here for Big Oof Energy. But they are going to have the Discord Orb. I'm sure they're going to be keying in on the Discord Orb with focusing from Kamina and NKN to really kind of a pick comp here.
Yeah, NKM really going to be able to be a thorn in the side of Big Oof Energy, having those multiple angles attacked from one character. And as we can see, both teams getting saddled up here. Big Potato just going to be maintaining point. We see the long-range turret toss coming from NKN. Not quite optimal to capitalize any damage onto any players from Big Oof Energy. And right now it's pretty much just going to be Reinhardt Fire Strikes and Zarya right clicks from both teams. However, we are going to be seeing Paralysis taking a little bit of damage. However, the true damage will come in the form of Kamina and Baked Potato. Going to be dealing some rather severe damage, dropping both of the shield characters for Big Oof Energy. Baked Potato going to continue to get aggressive, as we've seen time and time again from Rebind Shift.
Yeah, NKN either with the 500 IQ turret to start that fight or a happy accident. Rebind Shift not able to locate it because it wasn't shooting at anything. And once they pushed past far enough, they started getting lit up in the back and had to re-establish their engagement there.
Yeah, God's getting spotted out a little bit early into this fight, soaring away on that D.Va. Typically the resident support main, but it looks like they will be hopping off the D.Va for the time being. It looks like Big Potato is going to get gooped. However, it will still land they will still land the shatter. NKN following up with the liquid hot nacho cheese to coincide with the Baked Potato. And with that, it will continue to be a hold from Team Rebind Shift.
Yeah, Baked Potato absolutely lands a huge shatter, is able to serve it up right on top of that layer of nacho cheese, which usually results in a huge team win, as it does here. We are going to have both support ults coming in for Rebind Shift, really close to a shatter and a grav, along with a rally, so they're going to be coming up on some pretty good ults here themselves. And with Goats, as we know, you go with your ults.
Absolutely, and AK Organic looking like they're deciding not to drop the sound barrier despite the dragons and grab coming out. Perhaps they just decided that, you know, this is a lost fight anyway, let them blow their ults.
Yeah, I think that's the decision you have to make there. You see the Dragon Ball come out, that's fine, let them use 2 ults. Now we have 4 coming up at our own disposal, and with the 4 ults that they have coming up, there's no reason that they can't push past this choke here on this fight.
Indeed, they're going to have to put up with the Torbjorn turret. Artemis doing their best to shield a little bit of damage, and the grab is going to be coming out. However, Chump will have that Transcendence ready and on the hip pocket. However, Artemis is going to be landing a shatter right in time, just timed within Baked Potato's shield drop, and the turret not getting dealt with for quite a while. However, the Earth Shatter will be providing enough of a reprieve for Team Big Oof Energy to get a little bit of progress on the point.
Yeah, Artemis lands an absolutely huge shatter. I don't think that Big Oof, no, they're not going to even try to re-engage here. Smart move there. Kamina is able to get away from getting staggered really bad, and they're going to have a chance to re-establish here. But big shatter coming through from Artemis seals the deal with that fight. Only ultimate coming up here for this next fight going to be a sound barrier from AK Organic. We'll have a Valkyrie and a Grav coming up here for Big Oof.
Now, actually going to be seeing the deep sleep onto Hack's EMP coming in from Paralysis. Will not be able to be capitalized upon, but relieving the pressure of that Mercy. It's going to be a little bit of an advantage all in its own. Hack's EMP, however, going to be coming back just in time to pop that Valkyrie. Soaring away, looking like it was going to be blocked by Baked Potato, but the self-destruct going to be getting 2 kills onto Chump and X-Feral. Crucial kills there. And it looks like that might be the continued stagger and teamfight win that Big Oof Energy needed.
Yeah, Chump is blown away by Soaring Away. Kamina is hopefully not going to... Oh, no, that's going to be a huge stagger there if he can't get away. Paralysis lands a huge sleep dart. And then the Grav Dragon is going to come through just in time. And the beat drop is able to sustain. It looks like... Oh, actually, maybe not.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing the rally come out from Italis, but it will just not be capitalized upon before they are killed. And ultimately, Soaring Away going leading.
Well, not sure why the Nacho Cheese was sent out at the end of the fight. Paralysis is going to get absolutely staggered in a really, really bad way. Actually hammered to death by NKN. Always fun to see Torb hit someone over the head with that little hammer of his.
Yeah, I think that NKN's really trying to tell us that they want to play Reinhardt right now, but they'll make do with the Torbjorn mini hammer.
Yeah, it'll do itself a little bit of damage. I'm pretty sure it hits 30 a hit, but just enough to get Paralysis staggered in a very bad way. So the time bank advantage clearly in favoring Big Oof Energy, and we'll see if Rebind Shift taking this different approach here is able to name them some good results.
A very crafty sleep dart coming on to Gods from Hack's EMP. Gods perhaps trying to set up that grab, will go and throw it out. However, Kamina going to be getting stuck as well. We're going to be seeing the Transcendence come out from Chump, but in an unfortunate bit of news, Paralysis is going to be throwing out that anti-nade. And again, we've seen a significant change in Artemis's quality of Earth Shatters. This one providing once again a little bit more value and allowing the team to push forward and capture second point.
Yeah, Baked Potato with a big oof on his, and then Artemis is able to come through with a push-winning shatter. NKN switching off the Tor in favor of Sombra, and then Gods is actually switching off the Zarya to go with a Hamster. So we'll see what kind of approach he's going to take. Oh, actually switches right back to Zarya. He must have been just trying to get back into the fight quicker.
Yeah, Italis going to be seeing NKN doing a little bit of Sombra stall for the time being. However, Sombra being taken out of the fight will basically be a one-man down. Big Potato as well as Artemis going to be both deep diving into the basement area. The Shatter coming out, only going to be picking up Gods, but only is what you need in this instance, as Soaring Away going to be getting demeched. Big Potato actually going to be dropping despite the Earth Shatter coming out from them, but it doesn't look like that will be quite enough to tip in favor of Big Oof Energy.
Yeah, Baked Potato not actually able to stuff Gods with that Shatter, but does enough to push them back far enough to have that fight be over. NKN trying to look for a little invisible sneaky sneak and see if she can get the hack off on Artemis before they re-engage. He does have a Shatter coming up, so a hack on him will be absolutely massive.
Absolutely, and Paralysis is going to be getting a nice tasty sleep onto NKM, but getting killed by Chump, who was there and ready for the peel. And Hack's EMP, the trades will be going back and forth with these Anas now. And the Shatter landing only onto X-Feral, however, the capitalization not quite there yet. Soaring Away going to be dropping the bomb, will not find any purchase with it. Baked Potato getting 2 swings, 2 kills, as Paralysis will take them down. Paralysis going on a little bit of a fragging streak right now. But yeah, ultimately we'll probably have to back off.
Baked Potato swinging his oversized Torp hammer, doing a lot more damage than him, and Paralysis is, the past couple fights, has been paralyzing everyone he can with his sleep darts. He's about to have a nano here. I don't imagine he would use it on Boostio with Sound Barrier, but we don't really have any other ults coming up for them.
Absolutely, and as the Dragon Grab combo comes out, so does the EMP. And it looks like it came out right as AK Organic was casting that Sound Barrier, so that will be a lost ult for the team Big Oof.
And another really big stagger here on Soaring Away. Baked Potato getting carried away, decides he's going to just pin her across the map, and to make matters worse, just really have a long time to re-engage. Looks like a Nano is going to come in and a hack, see if they can actually get back to card in time to re-engage.
Yeah, Artem is charging to get onto point as soon as possible. However, perhaps going a little bit too cavalier. AK Organic going to be killing Hack's EMP, but despite the main source of healing gone for Rebind Shift, it looks like they will be able to recover. With Soaring Away unable to bully their way onto point, Rebind Shift will be winning this game and this series.
Yep, Rebind Shift able to just, handily win the whole match 3-0. Valiant effort by Big Oof Energy, but just not enough at their disposal. They weren't able to figure out the pirate ship, unfortunately, and they take the loss on Dorado.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams quite having something to be proud of coming out of this game. Big Oof Energy doing a great job to even make it this far. And unfortunately, there can only be one winner. And at least for today, that will be Rebind Shift. So we will be seeing them in the finals tomorrow. I'm very much so looking forward to that. They will be going, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they will be going against the team Maximized Gaming. So for that, I think that I'm just personally so excited to see this next coming game.
Yeah, tomorrow night's game with Maximize Gaming and Rebind Shift going to be absolutely spectacular. Two really top quality teams. Nothing but GG's to Big Oof Energy. They had a great tournament. Not able to come through tonight, but again, nothing but being able to be proud at the end of the day with how well they performed in this tournament.
Absolutely. And with that, folks, we are going to be signing off. Once again, catch us tomorrow for the final game of the tournament for this month. But for the time being, I have been Sir Waltham, and with me, as always, the dude.
Yep, and always a pleasure casting with you, Sir Waltham. GG's to everyone, and excited to see tomorrow night's game.
Absolutely. To all of you out there who are just closing down the stream, thanks. Have a great night and stay safe.
Thanks, everyone.